welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for game number 2 of Team TLC versus Team Unknown in the joinDOTA League, season number 9. My name is jDL. This is going to be game number 1 going in the pocket of Team TLC with a massive push lineup coming out from them, taking a lane of barracks, basically just plowing down the Radiant off lane in a matter of about a minute and a half, and just impressive stuff coming out from them despite struggling a little bit in the early game from the aggressive tri-lane being thrown up by Team Unknown, but unable to match the aggression level from the side of Team TLC. And it does look like the draft already underway. First ban out was the Death Prophet from the side of Team TLC, so staying consistent with their ban from the last match, while Team Unknown also is going to ban out the Outroad Devourer this one. And Oracle is going to be the first ban out from the side of Team TLC, so maybe there is a decent Oracle player for the side of Team Unknown, or either that or they just don't want to have to worry about how the mechanics of that hero work until, you know, at some point in time, I guess, whenever everyone wants to learn that hero. But either way, Lone Druid is going to be the second ban out for the side of Team Unknown, and TLC is going to immediately snag up that Enchantress, and so that's going to be their Chen-like hero for this go-around, and we'll see if Team TLC wants to stick with their pushing lineups and see if even the aggressive tri-lanes of Team Unknown can't bring the heat necessary in order to stop the fire that is that push from TLC. And they're going to drop down into the reserve time for the side of Team Unknown. It should be interesting to see what they want to do if they are going to be expecting another push lineup. If they want to go for more wave clear potential, and they do pick up the Vengeful Spirit. So now they're going to have the Wave of Terror in order to lower a lot of the armor off of some of these summon creeps that at least the Enchantress is going to be bringing to the field. But on top of that, you have to worry about the difference between a Chen as well as an Enchantress. Is a Chen is kind of just like an all-in on the push type of strategy, where the Enchantress can always move into a right-click carry potential hero. Impetus does a lot of damage, especially with the addition of the Dragon Lance item. Now Enchantress doesn't need to get nearly as close to anyone in order to get off those abilities, and if you don't have a lot of magical burst damage to take care of the Enchantress, Untouchable is just going to absolutely wreak havoc on the side of Team Unknown. And with the Vengeful Spirit pickup already, you have to wonder whether or not they're going to be trying to go for some more physical DPS with the lowering of that armor. They still could pick up a Witch Doctor if they wanted to as their secondary support. Didn't work out too well for them in game number 1, but at the same time, with that minus armor coming out from the Vengeful Spirit, then the Death Ward's going to be doing a significantly lot more damage than it was in the previous match. But either way, Enchantress, it'll be interesting to see whether or not TLC is going to be running the Enchantress the same way that they did with the Chen. At the beginning of game number 1, the Chen had actually rotated over towards the Radiant jungle, so they weren't necessarily predicting the fact that Team Unknown was going to be going for an aggressive tri-lane. So whether or not they're going to be having that Enchantress sitting in lane, she could always go into the off lane herself. With Untouchable, if it's just purely right-click heroes coming out from the side of Team Unknown, they're not going to be able to do a lot of physical harass over that Enchantress, and it's going to be up to the paltry mana pool, the Vengeful Spirit, to be throwing out the magic missiles to do the damage that way. But a hero that was banned on the last match, Bat Rider, is going to be picked up. Shadow of the Bat will most likely be going over into that mid lane, and it's a hero that I'm glad that we're seeing a resurgence of, because he just absolutely encourages team fights. He's basically the opposite hero of Pugna, where the blink into the flaming lasso, I'm dragging them back into your heroes, and we're going to see something I haven't seen in a while. Rubik is going to be the pickup for the side of Team TLC, and so far, I mean, he has the lasso in order to pick up from the Bat Rider, as well as, I mean, all the abilities that Vengeful Spirit has that are going to be activated abilities that he can steal are all going to be favorable. You got the Magic Missile, Wave of Terror, and the Nether Swap, so not going to be too bad of a game for the Rubik here already, and it's going to pocket Team Unknown into going for non-team fighting heroes that have these big ultimate abilities that the Rubik could potentially steal. Not that they're completely negated from going for those, but at the same time, Rubik is going to bring a new threat level that's going to force them to play differently than they normally would. And it does look like the Queen of Pain as well as the Invoker are going to be the ban-outs for the side of Team TLC Gaming in the second ban phase. Weaver being taken out of the pool by the side of Team Unknown. An interesting choice with that is Bat Rider is definitely one of those heroes that manages to lock down the Weaver for a potentially longer time than almost anyone that they could have picked up outside of maybe something like a Chronosphere from the Faceless Void, or even if you think of last match when they picked up the Beastmaster, that could have been another potential hero that would be able to lock him down on top of it too. So a little bit surprising that they decided to ban that out. But we'll wait out their fourth ban. And it's going to come down to whether or not this is going to be a mid or an offlane Bat Rider, I guess. How they are predicting that it's going to be an offlane Bat Rider based off of their their third and fourth bans. They take the Queen of Pain as well as the Invoker out of the pool. So potentially that mid lane's still open for the side of the Team Unknown to pick up another hero. But their potential hero pool is starting to dwindle down ever so slightly, as well as Team TLC. They've picked up what is either going to be a jungle or an offlane Enchantress, as well as the support Rubik. So they still need to pick up all three of their cores, while Team Unknown has already managed to snag at least an offlaner, if not their mid hero. And they've shown the propensity that they can start answering these lineups from the side of Team TLC by rotating out their lanes for something more favorable, like we saw with that aggressive tri-lane in game number 1, despite the fact that they abandoned it at one point while they were using it to its full advantage. It was giving them a lot of kill potential. And it's going to be the Gyrocopter from the side of Team Unknown. I do like this pickup because not only does it deal with some of the summon creeps that the Enchantress is going to be bringing to the field, but on top of that, he doesn't have to directly right-click the Enchantress. This Flat Cannon is going to be able to spread the damage out and not slow down his auto-attack speed due to that untouchable passive ability of Enchantress. There was that Slark ban out from the side of Team Unknown, which I do like, because if the Bat Rider gets right on top of someone and gets the blink into the lasso, and then the Slark manages to get the pounce onto him and keeps him locked into place, then that Bat Rider's not using his Force Staff to drag that hero back into his allies. And so I do like the ban out of that, as it's going to free up the options for the Bat Rider a little bit more efficiently. But one thing that Bat Rider desperately needs in order to be successful is vision. And TLC finding the answer for that by grabbing themselves the Night Stalker with their third pickup. And once he has that ultimate up, and let alone whenever he ends up picking up an Agnum Scepter too on top of it, this Bat Rider is going to have an immeasurably difficult time trying to get the vision necessary to get the blink in the lasso, even when he has the Firefly popped off, and he can be able to get that flying vision that he gets from it. But at the same time, when you're getting, your vision reduced by the Night Stalker, and especially if he gets that Ags ulti, then it's gonna be a lot for them to deal with for the side of Team Unknown. So this is starting to look like it is going to be either a jungle or an offlane Enchantress, as the Night Stalker could go over into that offlane if he needs to, but he's going to have to struggle pretty much, even to get levels up against a Gyrocopter and Vengeful Spirit. And Earth Spirit is going to be the hero of choice for the side of Team Unknown. So it's now starting to look like that's going to be a 4-role support Earth Spirit, with the coupling of that Vengeful Spirit. There most likely will be the defensive tri-lane coming out from the side of Team Unknown. They could still go for another aggressive tri-lane if they so desire to, as the Earth Spirit, incredibly tanky, capable of getting involved early in these team fights. Rocket Barrage from the Gyrocopter has one of the highest amount of magical damages at level 1. So it's, as well as that, you have the Vengeful Spirit with the magic missiles. So that's a lot of burst damage coming out from the side of Team Unknown, and a lot of kill potential, especially when you're dealing with the Enchantress being off the map or inside the jungle or over in that offlane. But they are going to pick up the Juggernaut, so that is one way to mitigate the magical damage coming out from the side of Team Unknown. He will have the Blade Fury in order to spin out of any kind of questionable situation that he finds himself in. And until the game starts moving over towards the point that Gyrocopter has a decent amount of right-click potential with either something like a Saint Yasha or an MKB or anything of that nature, then he's just going to be able to get the TP off after that until the Bat Rider and the Vengeful Spirit get their level 6 and they can get the Nether swap off the Bat Rider Flaming Lasso. And that's the thing, the Templar Assassin is going to be taken out of the pool by the side of Team TLC. So that is going to be one less mid-hero that the side of Team Unknown is going to be able to pick up. And both sides do still need their mid-heroes, as Puck is going to get banned out from the side of Team Unknown. It should be interesting to see exactly what they want to go for this. The Wind Ranger is still available in the pool for the side of Team TLC if they want to run her again. Lena is still available as well on top of that. And I'm not sure, I can't remember. I've done a few games for Team Unknown, but I can't remember what else. I'm pretty sure they have run Templar Assassin, but that was the last ban out for TLC. And they're going to go for a Zeus. So a lot, almost entirely magical damage coming out from the side of Team Unknown, and it's a little counterintuitive to what that first pick might have given off, that they were going to be going for something like a physical DPS type of lineup with the Vengeful Spirit and having the Wave of Terror available, but almost everyone except the Gyrocopter for the side of Team Unknown is magical damage, and it's going to be a lot of teamfight potential for them, as TLC is going to be looking to pick up a mid laner of their own with this last pickup. But Zeus is definitely, he's going to have to get the jump on the Juggernaut with his ultimate abilities. To waste that amount of magical damage that's going to be coming out from that Thunder God's Wrath, if he has the Blade Fury up when he ends up utilizing that, then the Juggernaut's going to be able to sustain through a lot of this magical damage from the side of Team Unknown. So I do like the pickup of that Juggernaut a lot. And it's going to come down to what their mid lane hero of choice is going to be for the side of Team TLC Gaming. And the other thing that they have to contemplate is if the side of Team Unknown decides to go for dual lanes, if they're going to throw the Bat Rider in the off lane with the Earth Spirit, and then if they use the Vengeful Spirit to just run a dual lane with the Gyrocopter as well, then that's, I mean, both of those heroes are going to be able to get a decent amount of farm. The Bat Rider will do fairly well with a little bit of lane support up against the Juggernaut and the Rubik. Not going to be able to completely zone him out. The Rubik won't be able to completely zone out the Bat Rider if the Earth Spirit has the threat of using the Rolling Boulder on top of him as well. And then he's still going to get being slowed down by the Sticky Napalm, and if he's slowed by both of those, and on top of that, if Earth Spirit picks up an Orb of Venom at the beginning of the match, that's a lot of slow potential coming out from the side of Team Unknown. They don't have a ton of reliable lockdown on the side of TLC Gaming. They are going to have the Telekinesis from Rubik, as well as the Void from the Night Stalker, and that's going to be basically it. Outside of that, they don't really have anything to lock any of these heroes down, so this Bat Rider is actually going to have a decent time as long as he doesn't get torn to shreds whenever he blinks in for the Firefly Lasso combination. But we are going to be loading into this one right now, so we'll go ahead and break down the lineups. Looks like over on the Dire side, we are going to have TLC manning that side of the map again. Myself is going to be playing the Enchantress. Looks like Blair is going to be playing that support Night Stalker. Nins on that mid Viper. Taeon will be playing your carry Juggernaut. Well, it looks like the Rubik is going to be manned by Sinclair. Meanwhile, for the side of Team Unknown, they are going to have Norvac over on the support Vengeful Spirit. Spring will be playing the off-lane Bat Rider, while Tango Ambo is going to be playing the support Earth Spirit. Looks like Jeremy FTW will be going back into that mid lane with the mid Zeus, and Prada will be rounding out that lineup with the carry one-roll Gyrocopter, and immediately a Smoke Gank coming out from the side of Team Unknown, looking to see if they can get the jump on whoever decides to go for that early bounty rune up in the top rune spot. Unfortunately, they did not get the Bat Rider in that smoke, so he's going to have to tail around towards the end of that. And it will give them an opportunity to get down some Observer Wards and block out this camps if they so desire to. Zeus is actually starting with just 2 shared tangos and nothing else, so he's most likely going to be rushing for a bottle as soon as he can. And Juggernaut might get caught out of position if he does decide to circle back around. And we'll be able to spot out the fact that the Zeus is there as the pings start coming out, as all 5 members for the side of Team Unknown are going to be up inside the Dire jungle at the moment. This does free up the bottom rune spot for Nins to pick up over on that Viper, who actually decided to go for Boots of Speed at the beginning, so definitely wants to be able to get within range of that Zeus, take advantage of the fact that he's only working with 295 move speed, and start getting the right clicks and the slows over onto him so they can try to get these kills early on, especially with the help from the rotations from that Night Stalker. It's going to be incredibly useful for him. And it does look like the Earth Spirit did decide to go for that Orb of Venom. And so that is going to allow a lot of slows over. If they do, it does look like they're setting up potentially to go for a rotation on this mid lane this early on. There's going to be a Dire Observer Ward down here, though. It's going to be able to spot this rotation out. So the Enchantress is just sitting over here towards the new hard camp by the secret shop. We'll be able to spot out this Earth Spirit. He ends up eating a Shockwave from the Satire Tormentor and takes a little bit of damage, but either way, it looks like they're going to initiate on the Night Stalker down here. Throws out the homing missile, levels that up at level 1, it looks like. So level 1 homing missile for the Gyrocopter, not your most traditional build. And in this mid lane, Zeus is already up to 4 last hits. He's got his bottle already being sent out thanks to the picking up of that top bounty rune. And this is going to leave the solo Bat Rider up against the solo Juggernaut. So an aggressive tri-lane coming out from the side of Team TLC this go-around. So there's going to be a Magic Missile stun over onto Enchantress. She didn't decide to go for the Untouchables, but the Vengeful Spirit is getting turned back on as the Telekinesis is going to be there from the Rubik, and they managed to get the kill over onto her. And off to a good start already is the side of Team TLC Gaming, as this Enchantress is going to take over the Radiant Jungle. And this tri-lane from them is going to be definitely something they have to be worried about. Now that the Earth Spirit's here, though, they're going to have a little bit more safety as well as kill potential for the side of Team Unknown that we talked about during the draft with that tri-lane that they can have coming out from them. It's a lot of magical burst damage. The Shockwave is going to end up missing from the Satire Tormentor, but it's going to be wearing out pretty soon, so it's going to be dying, unfortunately. Sad to see you go, Satire Tormentor, but unfortunately for him, the Enchantress does have pretty much control over the Radiant Jungle at the moment, though, so she could have refreshed it as well with her cooldown. Decides to pass over onto that and keep the Hellbear Smasher alive for a little bit longer. It doesn't think Earth Spirit is going to get telekinesed up by the Rubik. Trying to get the body blocks. The Enchantress is going to be able to get the smash off from the Hellbear Smasher. getting the Earth Spirit pretty low, down to under 200 HP, but it's not going to be enough burst damage without having that Night Stalker over there in order to slow him down with the Void. She is starting to spam out, and actually get a courier kill too on top of it. Not sure where that one ended up going down. Looks like it died trying to deliver something to the Bat Rider. Getting a little bit out of position. Zeus is going to have his bottle, but he has another 860 gold built up. He's not going to be able to get those boots of speed for a while. And unfortunately, Team Unknown losing the first blood as well as their courier. And Team TLC starting off to get a pretty rocket-filled head start on top of the side of Team Unknown. They are going to try to get the initiation over on the gyrocopter. He's starting to move back behind the Tier 1 tower, though. Night Stalker, one of those heroes that can die behind Tier 1 towers early on. Vengeful Spirit is going to eat a lot of damage. She's going to sacrifice her life in favor for the gyrocopter to live for a little bit longer. And unfortunately, he might get caught out of position too on top of it. Void's going to be there from the Night Stalker, who eats his mango immediately. They're not chasing after him too long, and the homing missile is going to get dropped down by the gyrocopter. Stuns him back behind the Tier 1 tower, but the Rubik's the one taking the pot shots at the moment. Can't take too many more of these. The rocket barrage from the gyrocopter is going to be too much, but he has no mana in order to pop this down. Shockwave's going to be on the mark in order to get the kill over on the gyrocopter, and it's Night Stalker who gets the last right click in order to get that kill. As we're up to 3-0 in favor of Team TLC at just 3 minutes and 30 seconds into this one. And this mid lane, Zeus is doing fairly well, up to 19-1 to the 14-2 of the Viper, but not dropping too far behind is going to be that Viper, and once he gets his mechanism up, and they're going to be looking to get that push potential that they had during game number 1, thanks to the Enchantress just taking control of the Radiant jungle. But it does look like the side of Team TLC is going to start looking to spread the wealth around a little bit. The Rubik had to go back to base due to the lack of mana, and the Enchantress is going to fall back to this hard camp inside by the Dire Secret Shop. Double Damage Room was activated by the Viper, so unfortunately the Bat Rider not able to snag that from underneath his feet, but the Soul Ring now completed over on the Zeus as well. I'm not sure how he got all the parts of that without having his courier alive. Must have had either walk back or had someone send it out to him by having one of his supports rotate out, but it does leave the Night Stalker in a little bit of trouble. There is going to be the Boulder Kick coming out from the Earth Spirit, but he's surviving for a little bit longer. The homing missile might be able to snag that kill if it does enough damage. He needs a Fairy Fire in order to stay alive, and Rubik's going to use the Fade Bolt in order to try to issue back these people behind their the enemy lines. The Shockwave is going to be a little off the mark from the Satire Tormentor there from Enchantress, but it does look like the Radiant Courier is going to be respawning as the Bat Rider is going to do a decent amount of damage over this Juggernaut, who did end up expending Omni Slash in order to try to get the kill over onto him, but it's not going to be enough, as he's probably going to have to rotate back to the base, though, since he is at so low HP and he does not have his Tranquil Boots up and ready yet. This mid lane, there is going to be a Viper Strike over onto the Zeus. He's getting slowed down, tries to juke around the trees. Just one more right click will be enough. He doesn't even need it, as the Viper's poison is going to be enough to take him out. And that is going to be enough for the power treads to be completed over onto the Viper. And he can start working over towards that mechanism now, as he has another 350 gold over in his inventory. So we are 5 minutes and 19 seconds into this one, 4-0 in favor of the side of Team TLC. And they are looking to start to try to rotate around the map into different positions, as the Enchantress is going to start moving up here towards the top Dire jungle. And she's got her power treads already completed as well on top of that, so she's actually sitting fairly tanky. Whenever she hasn't switched to strength, she's at around 700 HP. You have the she doesn't have any levels in Untouchable, but she does have one level over into Nature's Attendance, which is going to allow her to heal up fairly significantly. And might get a kill on the Night Stalker down here thanks to the Rocket Barrage as well as the Homing Missile, and that is going to be able to pay dividends thanks to the Magic Missile initiation coming out from the Vengeful Spirit. And it's going to be a decent kill, as it is going to swing about another 700 gold into the pockets of the side of Team Unknown as they get their first tally up on the board. And Power Tread's now completed over the Viper as well as the Headdress, so it is going to be the mechanism built from him. And Zeus manages to snag a kill over on the Rubik as the Earth Spirit finds him out, and Zeus snakes that kill with his Thunder God's Wrath. Not sure he was completely necessary, but wanted to make sure that they're getting more kills, as they will be able to get their second kill for the match. But now it's the Night Stalker. It's nighttime, and he's going after this Earth Spirit. Silenced very momentarily. He's able to get the boulder roll up onto the high ground. And unfortunately, the Night Stalker not going to be able to get anything else out of this one just quite yet. But he will be able to safely farm inside the lane at the moment, thanks to having that level 1 over in the Hunter of the Night. He's going to be fairly quick at 367 base move speed without having phase boots or tranquil boots completed. So he does have the Ring of Protection in his inventory, either going to be going for something like Vladimir's offering for the early push potential, or he's going to be building into those tranquil boots that I just mentioned. We'll check out this Juggernaut's item progression at the moment, as he does almost have his phase boots completed, picks up the Ring of Aquila as well as the 4-man shield. So he's not looking too bad. I'm not sure if he has the ability to push down these tier 1 towers yet, but he does pick up level 1 in the healing ward, so it's going to do a decent amount to the creeps that the Enchantress might bring to the table if they try to go to push down this tier 1 tower. Night Stalker's just going to get left alone down here in the bottom lane. He is farming up, but at the same time, farming Night Stalker during nighttime is not going to be able to get kills over on the enemy team unless they try to dive over towards this tier 1 tower, and he can TP over to it, as he does have a TP scroll in his inventory. But this is freeing up space for the Enchantress inside the Dire jungle. She had to have gotten something on her inventory. It looks like it's just going to be the Circlet right now. She's already finished out that the Magic Wand, so most likely going to be picking up something like either an Ult Talisman or a Bracer to try to make herself a little bit more tanky. The Viper does manage to finish up that Buckler, so the Mechanism only about another 600 gold away, and this Viper and this Night Stalker are going to be a lot of trouble. Does end up popping the ultimate, so he's going to be able to move a little bit more quickly, but he's stunned up and locked down, especially thanks to the homing missile, going to keep him in place, and they're able to get the last right clicks necessary, and Gyrocopter's going to be able to snag that last hit in order to get the kill. So 3-4 now still in favor of Team TLC, but these kills are going to start quickly racking up into the pockets of Team Unknown, who we talked about during the draft. Their team fight potential is just absolutely phenomenal, and if they can start getting their level 6s up on all of their support heroes, as well as that Bat Rider, who does have level 8 already, and he's got 2,100 gold in his inventory, so he's actually getting really close to having his Blink Dagger finished, and that is going to be a really good timing window for the side of Team Unknown. If they can start trying to get rid of these team fight engagements before the Mechanism comes out for the Viper, if they can get the Blink into a lasso initiation before that, then that is going to be able to stagnate a little bit the side of Team TLC from moving into that mid-game pushing lineup that they've drafted for. This looks like the Soul Ring is also completed on the Zeus, as well as the Arcane Boots, so you could potentially dismantle those into a Aether Lens, but I'll stop myself there because there's going to be a Blink in the lasso initiation over on the Viper. This is what we talked about. This is going to be deadly for them. There's going to be the Thunder God's Wrath as well on top of it, but the Rubik's going to be here as well. Throws out the Fateful, as well as the Telekinesis. Now Enchantress is going to try to get something going, but she's going to get bursted down relatively quickly thanks to the Thunderbolt of that Zeus. He drops down to under 50 HP 2 times during a teamfight engagement. But unfortunately for them, they can't find any counter kills after the Viper ends up going down, who did not manage to buy his completed Mechanism before they ended up getting the kill over to him. So Team Unknown doing exactly what they needed to do at this point in the match by getting the kill over onto the Viper, but it does free up the space for the Juggernaut, completely left alone over in the Dire safe lane to get rid of that tier 1 tower. So even a little bit more of an injection of gold over in the pocket of the side of Team TLC, as they are evened up at 4-4 at the moment. 9 minutes and 52 seconds into this one. Team TLC was working with what looked like about a 4,000 net worth advantage, now dipping back down to around 2,200, but they're definitely in a bit of a advantageous situation at the moment until the side of Team Unknown starts taking a little bit more map control away from the side of Team TLC. And the Vengeful Spirit has an Observer Ward in her inventory. She's just going to be spamming out her abilities, try to get a little bit more CS, and probably going to be rotating back over towards the well. And this Viper does have the Mechanism completed, being flown out to him right now on the Courier. Looks like as well, Drum of Endurance is going to be there for the Juggernaut on top of it. And this Tier 1 tower is now going to be the threat of choice for the side of Team TLC. They need to find some kind of response from the side of Team Unknown, as the Bat Rider does have the Flaming Lasso up and available for this next team fight. He doesn't have anything in Flame Break though, so that magical damage is not going to be coming out from him, but the Zeus does have Thunder God's Wrath up and ready. Throw out the first Thunderbolt over the Juggernaut, who expends the Blade Fury, trying to get the last right clicks necessary to take out this Tier 1 tower. Looks like the ultimate's going to be popped by the Night Stalkers. The Flaming Lasso is going to be expended over on the Viper. He does have the Mechanism still. Thunder's God Wrath is going to be used by the Zeus on top of it. No one's gone down quite yet, as the Gyrocopter's going to be able to use the call down and connecting over onto 3. Omni Slash is going to be split between 2 heroes, and the Bat Rider might end up going down to the Blade Fury in the back end of that, but he's able to get the Blink off in the end. And it's going to be the Vengeful Spirit who gets dropped fairly low, but she gets the Magic Missile off, keeping him locked down, and now the Earth Spirit's going to be there as well. Gyrocopter does end up getting cleaned up on the backline, so that thanks to the impetuses of that Enchantress, but now it looks like the Night Stalker's going to pay for it with his life as he tries to get the kill over on the Vengeful Spirit. Will manage to do so, but it does manage to get the kill for the Zeus on top of it too. So it does end up being a Tier 1 tower as well as a 2-for-1 exchange. And the kill's in favor of Team Unknown, but the tower goes in the pocket of Team TLC, and they are now moving into the Roshan pit. They don't have Healing Ward though, so I'm not sure exactly what they're going to be looking to do at the moment, for the next 9 seconds at least. But they're going to go for it anyways, as the pause does come out from Jeremy FTW over for the side of Team Unknown. And looks like they're okay now. They just need a momentary pause, maybe a little bit of lag, but either way, Team TLC looking to take down the first Roshan, and Before, when there's a new interaction with the Roshan with his auto attack speed, and with Viper. Viper used to be able to throw out a lot of poison attacks, and whenever he did that, Roche would attack at an incredibly slow pace. And unfortunately, that's not the case anymore, so this Enchantress is going to take up a lot of damage, but thanks to the level 1 and Untouchable, he's going to be attacking even more slowly up against her, so they're going to be able to take this relatively quickly. So 12 minutes and 22 seconds into this, we get the first Aegis Immortality put in the pockets over to that Viper, and it's 6-5 in favor of Team TLC. And they are working with about a 5,000 net worth advantage right now. On top of that, they've got themselves about a 3,000 experience advantage, so just despite the fact that they're getting these kills, they're not falling off in CS or experience, grouping up and going for these rotations around the map. They're still accumulating levels as well as experience. And they're going to look to see if they can try to do some damage to this Tier 1 tower in the middle lane for the side of Team Unknown, but they're just kind of grouping up inside the Radiant jungle, being relocated over to this small area to farm up for all their heroes. And this Tier 1 tower down in the bottom lane is going to get taken out at the same time, so all Tier 1 towers being taken out from the side of Team TLC at 13 minutes in. And none being taken out in favor of Team Unknown. They will manage to get this D ward off, though, which is going to be pretty significant. As we talked about, they need to try to get map control and vision taken away from the side of Team TLC before this Night Stalker becomes too much of an issue. And let's see his farm. He does manage to, looks like he's going to be going for that Vladimir's offering. And Juggernaut decided to go for a Blink Dagger, actually. So interesting choice from him, but wants to be able to get the maximum amount of the Omni Slash jumps. By being able to use that, you can use Blink Dagger in the midst of Omni Slash, so you can make sure that if your Omni Slashes are going to be used all on one character, and they're actually going to try to get a kill on Zeus, I don't think it's going to be enough, as the Viper Strike is also going to be used over onto him, but manages to TP back to the well. But they're going to take down this Tier 2 tower down in the Radiant safe lane, and this is exactly how game number 1 went, where they were trying to do some take out this Tier 1 tower up in the Dire safe lane. And once again, they're getting pushed back ever so slightly. They'll probably still be able to manage to take this one out. Call down will be expended over onto the Night Stalker, but he managed to get the Void as well as the Silence over on him. He's going for the TP. There's going to be the Blade Grid coming out from the Juggernaut with that freshly picked up Blink Dagger, but it's not going to be enough as Zeus even throws up the ultimate on top of it in order to try to snag that kill inside the well. And it looks like he will manage to get the kill for the Viper's Aegis of Immortality. But anything on top of that, I don't think it's going to result in much. So Zeus does manage to spend the ultimate in order to get the kill on the Aegis, but they do still get the Tier 2 tower down in the Radiant safe lane. And that's what I was starting to say before that fight broke out, was that this is exactly how game number 1 went, where their carry hero for the side of Team Unknown loses their ability to farm inside the Radiant jungle. And once that happens, it's going to be incredibly easy, a lot more easy for Team TLC to start choking out the net worth of the side of Team Unknown. We check that out, is now dipping down to almost, looks like 7,000 in favor of Team TLC, so they're starting to run away with the net worth as well as the experience, and Team Unknown needs to find a way to put the brakes on these guys, otherwise it's just going to be completely ran away with inside Team Unknown. They don't have the Earth Spirit ultimate available right now, so their team fight potential is significantly lower than it would have been with Flaming Lasso as well as the Earth Spirit ultimate. And this Tier 2 tower in the offlane is going to get taken out on top of it too. So now 5-6, despite the only 11 kills on the map, only one outer tier tower remaining for the side of Team Unknown, as his net worth continues to dip down in the favor of Team TLC. And checking out the net worth, does look like the Juggernaut as well as the Viper are going to be on top of the net worth charts, and he went double back in order to get a Hand of Midas after completing that Mechanism 2 on top of it, and this is going to be devastating for the Gyrocopter. They find out this triple stack of Ancients over here for the side of Team Unknown, and they're going to be able to clean this up, and that was going to be a chance for the Gyrocopter to get a decent injection of gold, so only 5,500 net worth at the moment. And these double Hellbear Smashers coming out from the Enchantress, able to take off the majority of that damage, and she's up to 1,400 gold as well after finishing that Drums of Endurance. So she's actually going to get fairly close to finishing that Dragonlance if she wants to go for that on top of it. Got the triple Hellbear Smashers out here. One of them's not on the right side though. So they're going to get a blink forward from the Juggernaut. Finds out the Earth Spirit, gets the Omni Slash off. That's a level 2 Omni Slash. He just hit level 11. Able to get the solo kill over onto the Earth Spirit. So he's down for 20 seconds. Does have buyback available if he wants to expend it. But he doesn't have that much gold over in his inventory, sitting at 0, 1, and 4 with only 7 last hits. It does look like myself is going to pause this game for the Enchantress on the side of Team TLC, as they're going to have a bit of a lag issue here. But the Arcane Boot's done over onto the Rubik. He's got another 800 gold in his inventory, so if he wants to start saving up for a Blink Dagger, the world is basically his oyster at this point. Night Stalker does have his Splintish Vladimir's offering in his inventory, Ogre Club is going to be picked up from the Viper, so St. Junyasha or BKB is going to be coming out relatively soon for him. And Juggernaut another 1,800 gold after the completion of the drums and the Blink Dagger. And this Tier 2 tower, the last remaining outer tier tower for Team Unknown, now under pressure at only 16 minutes into this game. And Team TLC looking to try to get a repeat performance of their last match. They're going to be able to get the Thunderbolt off over onto the Juggernaut. The Wild Wing Ripper, though, is starting to send out that Tornado, which is going to be zone them out a little bit. This damage is going to be able to cancel out that blink potential from the Bat Riders. Firefly is going to be wearing off in a few seconds. And after that, it does look like it doesn't even matter, as the side of Team TLC is just going to take that Tier 2 tower and then go on the retreat after the fact. So they still don't have that Aegis of Mortality that got expended during that last brief teamfight engagement in the middle lane. It's Juggernaut up to another 2,100 gold in his inventory. It should be interesting to see what he decides to go for next, since he could potentially go for a BKB if they just want to go for raw pushing potential and team fight, so that he doesn't have to worry about anything from the side of Team Unknown, as we talked about during the draft. There's just a massive amount of magical burst damage coming out from them. He doesn't want to have to rely solely on having the Blade Fury up and expending that, as it's going to be using a little bit of the time that he has on the Omni Slash. So he's gonna, if he has to overlap those, it's not going to be that great of a situation for him. So he might want to go for a BKB as his next big item, and it basically would just seal the deal as far as what his potency towards this mid game is going to be. As we're almost 18 minutes into this one, 7-5 in favor of Team TLC, and that net worth chart continues to climb in favor of TLC, almost to 10,000 now at this point. And Team Unknown needs to find some kind of answer in the form of either towers or kills, in order to make sure that this game doesn't get completely taken apart by Team TLC, as the Dragonlance is now completed over on the Enchantress as well after that. And so she's going to start hitting a lot harder and from a lot farther, which means that Impetus is going to be doing even more damage. And she's only level 8 at the moment, so her levels are actually been stifled a little bit due to the fact that she's had to rotate around the map, but her farm has not suffered at all, as she's 3-0 and 2. So she's just been accumulating this gold, and they are going to be able to find out this Juggernaut does manage to get the Blade Fury up, though, so this Firefly is not going to be doing a ton of damage quite yet. Now the Omni Slash is going to be there. He might be able to clean up the Earth Spirit very quickly, which he does manage to do. Healing Mortarian back up just ever so slightly. The back end of that, they do manage to get the kill over onto the Bat Rider, too. Now it looks like Zeus is going to be in no man's land on top of it. It's going to be a 3-for-0 exchange, as the nice Blade Fury comes out from the Juggernaut just in the nick of time before the Bat Rider can get the Blink and Lasso initiation off. And Rubik's going to be looking for more, as he's used an invisibility rune. And unfortunately, the Gyrocopter is going to be able to get out just in the nick of time before that telekinesis can come off from the Rubik. But it is going to be a point booster picked up from the Juggernaut, so we're either going to see an Eye of Scotty or an Agnum set to come out next. And based on how much damage this Omni Slash has just been absolutely ripping apart, even the Earth Spirit, who's one of the tankier heroes over on the side of Team Unknown, those extra bounces are going to be doing a ton of damage. And I'm not really sure anyone could go toe-to-toe with him, even the Gyrocopter or the Earth Spirit at this point. Flame Break will come out from the Bat Rider, trying to zone them out ever so slightly and throwing out those sticky napalms. Cooldown's going to be expended as well. They do manage to clear up all of the Enchantress creeps now, so that's going to stop the push potential just ever so slightly for the side of Team TLC. And it looks like this Viper decided to go for a Dragonlance of his own on top of it too, so just going for the long-range initiation and right-click potential that Enchantress and that Viper is going to allow them to siege the high ground a lot more efficiently than they may have previously been able to. And the Gyrocopter has managed to surpass the Night Stalker finally in net worth, not by a significant amount, only 400, but at the same time, he's going to be feeling pretty good about that, as the St. Junyasha is now almost going to be completed. We get the pump fakes from Jeremy FTW, as he did finish that 4-staff, as well as now having an Aether Lens completed on top of it. So it does leave his mana pool a little bit more harmed, since he doesn't have those Arcane Boots, but definitely the extra range is going to be pretty useful for him in these team fights, so he doesn't have to get right in the face of the enemy heroes, as well as those creeps that the Enchantress is going to be bringing out, and he can continue to spam out the Arc Lightnings from long-range distance. The Enchantress, though, up to another 1,300 gold, and looks like the Juggernaut's going to have something to send out. It is going to be the completed Agnum Scepter. So he's going to have a completed Ag Scepter, Blink Dagger, Ring of Aquila, Phase Boots, and Drums of Endurance, all at 20 minutes and 56 seconds into this one. And that is going to be some pretty impressive stuff, as he's sitting at level 13, and he's maxed out the Healing Ward, actually. So they have no signs on any of their heroes that they're going to be trying to stop their potential team fight and pushing potential for the side of Team TLC Gaming. All the members of Team Unknown basically grouped up here towards this top rune spot, trying to make sure that no one is going to be too far out of Help's range, especially with that Vengeful Spirit could save someone with the Nether Swap, as he's now level 6. So she does have that available. She did manage to pick up the power treads, though, so it is impressive that she did manage to find that kind of farm. But the vision coming out for the side of Team TLC at the moment is just huge. They've got all this vision right around the Radiant phase. That Observer will be wearing out pretty shortly, but either way, it's going to be pretty hard for the side of Team Unknown to go for any kind of sneak tactics. They're grouping up to push down this Tier 2 tower in the Dire safe lane. As the pings are coming out from the Viper to try to go for this middle Tier 3 tower. Roshan not quite back up, about another minute and 10 seconds before that's going to be available for Team TLC to go for. They will manage to clean up this Tier 2 tower, though, so that's going to be a little bit of injection of gold over into their pockets. But this net worth graph is already dipping down towards the 14,000 mark, and they just lost their Tier 3 in the middle tower. The Omni Slash is going to come out over onto the Batrider, cleaning up very quickly. He does have buyback available, but they want to expend it. Here comes the Earth Spirit, though. He's going to be able to get the ultimate off, doing a decent amount of damage, but the Nether Shrop's going to be there to keep the Juggernaut locked into place inside behind enemy lines. And here comes the Night Stalker, though. Managed to get the kill over onto the Vengeful Spirit, and the buybacks come out in mass from the Batrider as well as the Earth Spirit. These barracks are starting to come under threat, and they need to find some kind of solution for this. Otherwise, they're going to end up dealing with these large creeps that they don't want to have to deal with only 22 minutes into this one. And melee barracks are going to end up falling, and they're going to be able to clean up the range barracks as well on top of it as TLC starts to go on the retreat now. See if they can get anything else on top of that. They turn back around. Earth Spirit might end up having to die back here. As he does, as the impetus charges are going to be doing way too much damage for him to deal with. And now they're going after the Batrider. Does have Firefly up, so he moves himself back up over onto the high ground. No Blink Dagger from the Juggernaut just quite yet for another 1 second. And they're going to look to try to take down this Tier 3 tower on top of it too. He gets bursted down very quickly though. And they have to be worried about this. The call down might end up getting the kill over onto him as it does pierce the BKB and Magic Immunity. Night Stalker is going to be in a lot of trouble as well as the Rubik. They both end up going down. They pop the Smoke of Deceit in order to try to get the Enchantress as well as the Juggernaut out of this one. They might look to turn this around as the Omni Slash is up and available. They might try to bait him out, but it looks like the Flaming Lasso is going to be the item of choice for the Batrider. He ends up dying very quickly, not even able to drag him back behind his allies, and the Vengeful Spirit's going to go down on top of it too. Die back from the Earth Spirit as well as the Batrider, and it looks like on the back end of that engagement, Juggernaut is going to be able to find out the Zeus with the Omni Slash, cleaning him up. He does have buyback available, but this Tier 3 tower push is inevitable, since they still have these 3 heroes down here. The Juggernaut starting to get the right clicks off over the Earth Spirit. You just came back to life and you're already dead. Monster streak, kill streak coming out for myself on the Enchantress. Buyback from the Vengeful Spirit, but it doesn't really matter as this Tier 3 tower is slated to fall with almost 20,000 net worth advantage from the side of Team TLC Gaming. Calldown will push them back ever so slightly, and with the lack of mana right now at the moment, they might decide to back up, but they do have the Healing Ward in about 2 seconds. And the Rubik could be coming back with his Arcane Boots momentarily, who does have the completed Aether Lens if he does decide to disassemble the Arcane Boots. But Roshan's back up and available. If they do decide to go for Roshan, then they can just move immediately back into the Radiant base and just completely go for the Jugular on this one and just try to get the kill. Viper does complete the Sage and Yasha being flown out to him on the Courier, it looks like, as well as Blair's Agnum Scepter is going to be completed on top of that too. Unfortunately, he does still have the Abladeable Acrity over in the base, so he's not going to have it immediately until that Courier gets flown all the way back. But either way, he's also inside the Dire Jungle at the moment. He's very fast at the moment, 459 move speed with those power treads as well as the movement speed at nighttime, since he did pop that Darkness. It's going to be daytime now, though, so he's going to have to depend on getting that Agnum Scepter fairly quickly if he wants to have it up and ready for that next teamfight engagement. But this Roshan is going to end up going down. We'll see if they decide to put it in the Juggernaut's pocket, or if they want to give it... Yeah, they will end up giving it to the Juggernaut. Gets rid of his TP scroll, just so he can pick that up. But either way, he's going to be feeling pretty good as he ends up picking up a Desolator, too, on top of it. So some minus armor for him, as well as an ability to get rid of these towers and just buildings in general very quickly. Looks like this Earth Spirit a little bit out of position down here with no allies within Help's range. He got blinked on, initiated by the Juggernaut. He's definitely going to end up dying pretty much immediately. Level 16 for him with an Agnum Scepter upgrade on that the Omni Slash. So that's going to be a lot of bounces and a lot of damage going off of that Earth Spirit if he sticks around for a little bit too long. Force Staff almost being completed by the Batrider. I don't know if he has the Ring of Regen and the Courier, which he does not. And only going to be that Sage and Yasha completed for the Gyrocopter, as well as the Helm of the Dominator on top of it. Veil of Discord was the item of choice for the Zeus, though, so that will help out with the magical damage coming out from the side of Team Unknown, so they can maybe get the burst that they need in these next team fights. Because this match, by all means, is not completely over. If Team Unknown can manage to stave off this high ground push in this Tier 3 tower down in the bottom lane, it's going to come down to whether or not they can survive with this Tier 3 tower or not. If they can stop this push right now, though, then they have the potential to come back in this one, especially since they have such good teamfight potential. But this Tier 3 being taken out already, thanks to the Desolator, that Juggernaut. They're starting to work on over to those melee barracks. There's going to be a cooldown expended by the Gyrocopter, starting to do a decent amount of damage over the Night Stalker, but here's going to be the Flaming Lasso. Omnislash jumping through with the Juggernaut, doing a lot of damage over the Bat Rider, cleans up the Vengeful Spear as well on top of it. Now the Viper Strike being used over onto the Gyrocopter. He gets taken down, immediately buys back, tries to come back into the fray as GG is going to be called by the Earth Spirit. It looks like Team Unknown is going to end up losing this one at 27 minutes and 4 seconds in. 23-7 in favor of Team TLC, as they're going to end this match with almost 25,000 net worth advantage. And unfortunately for the side of Team Unknown, they just were not capable of getting out of that laning phase after that early team fight engagement down in the bottom lane, when Enchantress rolled in with her creep camp that she picked up over at the hard camp and by the Dire Secret Shop, and that Vengeful Spirit ended up going down. And then the Earth Spirit after that ends the game 0-6-4 on both the Earth Spirit as well as the Vengeful Spirit. And looks like the Juggernaut ends up going 5-0-9, 568 GPM. And comparatively, the Viper 2-1-11 with that Hand of Midas manages to grab himself 523 GPM. And Enchantress, though, MVP 9-0-7. And we saw it, she's only level 12, only behind the Rubik at the moment, was the only one who was behind her as far as EXP is concerned. Even the Gyrocopter and the Zeus and Bat Rider almost equal with her, if not ahead, than the other team. So her experience really was staggered in the early game, but at the same time, just able to help out with getting those kills and never dying at any point in time, just allowed her to accumulate a decent amount of gold. And once she had the Ags of the Dragonlance, Drums of Endurance, and Treads, it's just not a lot you can do against an Enchantress like that. So, unfortunately, TLC is going to be able to take this one in a 2-game series, both games going in their pocket. This is going to be it for tonight's matches, I believe. So, that is going to do it for today's matches for jDOTA League. My name is jDOTA. If you enjoyed the cast, make sure you check me out over at twitter.com/jDOTA. It's JAMANN Dota. And I appreciate all you guys tuning in. We'll give ahead some shout-outs to our listeners. Looks like we had, once this loads up, looks like we have Dritzy over in the viewers, FireEater64, Kairos, thanks for tuning in as well, keeping the observers up for me, man. Kuzmaya, it was going to be there as well, StixDOTA, Tawira, and Tinzu. Thanks, guys, for tuning in, as well as everyone else watching Dota TV. And on top of it, the guys who are not logged into their Twitch accounts that are watching as well. Definitely appreciate the viewership. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more jDOTA League action for Season number 9.